Great day, great life, great now. Beautiful Vibrillionaire soul family. Great to be back. Great to be live with all of you outside of the 8 minutes within eternity. Thank you so much for all of you that are showing up, that are waking up together every day. And the first thing that you're turning on is yourself. The first thing that you are waking up to is the vibrancy of life instead of your screen, instead of what people are saying and people are giving their attention and investment into, because what we're seeing is really a projection of our old stories in our past, because nobody's really revealed to us the gift of being present. I know I didn't know about it, and this is why I share this video, because when you see Michael show up, meditate, talk about presence, talk about love, talk about, I want to share what's the behind the scenes of that, because everybody's success story has a behind the scenes. Nobody is successful without, like they say, having a 99 no's and getting that one yes. Well, that one yes was me. That one yes was self-realization. That one yes was self-actualization, because I'm actualizing the self that I never could have believed that was possible, because I didn't give up on myself. Even though I wasn't seeing it, even though I wasn't feeling it, I'm telling you, I faked it till I made it, to realize that I was faking it, thinking that I was faking it, because faking it is believing you're not worthy. Faking it is believing you're not good enough. Faking it is believing that you are not that you are. So without further ado, I want to see who comes on live and, share my love for you. Thank you for joining. Hashtag live, hashtag replay. As I've been hesitating to do these videos of live, because there's a lot that I just want to share every day. And I tend to be all over the place, so this is what I've been working with. So thank you for your patience, as my intention is to make this very short, succinct, and to the point, so that we can use our example for what it truly is. We go through the dirt, we go through the mud, we go through the muck, so that other people don't have to go through that pain and suffering to the depth that we did. That way they can have the clarity, the insight, and the discernment on to make those conscious choices, and even realize that we are beings with a choice. We are so free. It is amazing how free we are. So I want to share a little bit about my story from government conspiracy to divine conspiracy, because like I was saying in the beginning, Fanny Quinta, thank you for being here, beautiful soul. Thank you. Much love. Where are you watching from? Would love to hear from you. So as I came from, when I was in prison, when I went to prison, I'll get away from all the different points, because I used to deal violence, I used to deal drugs, I used to deal rage, anger, hate, just like hate, resentment, and I just used every excuse under the book to throw my life away. And I believed I wasn't good enough. I believed I wasn't worthy enough. And I got involved in gangs, I got involved in the prison system, and this is where I'm going. It wasn't until I was 18 years young, and I was faced with 3 years, and I told the judge, I'm going to study you, and I'm going to study you so well that you're either going to never see me again, because I'm either dead, or I'm so successful because you're not going to see me again. Something to those words, because I don't remember exactly what I said, but I told the judge that you're never going to see me again, because, I'm either going to die, or you're never going to see me again. So the reason why I share this is because, hola, bendiciones, saludos, gusto verte. Stephanie? Oh my gosh, Stephanie, abrazos, bendiciones, hermosa espejo. Ahorita voy a compartir mi historia en español. Estoy compartiendo mi historia y ahorita después comparto mi historia en español. ¿Entiendes poquito inglés? No entiendo inglés. Ok, voy a hacer un video después de esta en español. So, Fanny, ahorita nos vemos y me encantaría platicar contigo, y conecta con Alicia y con nosotros, conmigo. Bendiciones, hermosa espejo. Te queremos mucho. Oh my gosh, somebody that we haven't seen in a long time. So, this is what I love about my life. Seeing the transformations again and again and again all around me, because that is why we live through what we live through. And my beautiful mom is here. Hola, hermosa madre. I love you, Mom. Another beautiful success story, my mother. She's just such a pillar of faith, a pillar of love. And hola madre. So when I told the judge, then I didn't even realize this until I kept sharing my story. When people would say, why do you do what you do? Who are you? Because Michael didn't like sharing his story. Michael wanted to help people. It's like, I don't want to share my story. And I didn't realize there was a lot of guilt. There was a lot of, man, I was really, really bad, right? There was a lot of judgment. So one thing that I realized is there was a lot of wisdom. There was a lot of jewels. There was a lot of gifts that were opened up. And this is why I want to share this today. Is because when I made that decision, I didn't even know I made that decision. When I made that decision, I went into that decisiveness that I went to study the government because I wanted to be the greatest criminal that's ever existed. I wanted to be known throughout the world for generations to come. In Spanish, they have music where they remember people that, were brave and courageous, but it's just like, a lot of the Hollywood. It's a lot of just what we want to see, but not the behind the scenes of what's really going on. So, with that being said, is the reason why I'm dedicating this video, because I see so many people and I see a lot of spiritual coaches. I love you, and yes, this served a purpose to get us to where we are, but where attention goes, energy flows. Where we put our mind, where we put our energy, our awareness, our consciousness, we create. We subconsciously and consciously create. So the reason why I'm sharing this video is because you're not going to hear politics, you're not going to hear about the government, you're not going to hear about anything like that. You're going to hear about nature, you're going to hear about life, you're going to hear about what's transformed Ali and I's life. So going back to the story, when I told the judge I was going to study the government, the judge looked at me, because the judge hears so many things all the time. I'm sure they've heard crazier things. But I was so convicted. That's why I say from addicted to convicted. From addiction to conviction. And the judge said, okay, next. But when I went into that holding cell before they take you back, to jail and prison, I made a decision. And I want to thank everything that's happened to me. The government for the way that it's been and all of that. Because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have woke up. Because by studying the government, I had a lot of experiences. I was locked up in a 6x9 cell. And I was destroying myself. Thinking that I was going to get smarter by studying the government. Every time, and I know a lot of you feel like this. The more information you know, it's like, okay, I got more information. Okay, I feel better prepared. But how much do you know yourself? Nancy Flowers, calm. Great to see you, beautiful mirror. How much do you know yourself? So I mirror this in a sense of, let's just say you know a baseball team, a football team, a soccer team, a volleyball team, whatever team that is. Or even like, your actors on the screen, in the movies. Like, you know everything about them. We know so much about the outside. We know very little about ourselves. And the reason why I think this is so important, because we can study the outside all day long. And if you don't know yourself, you don't realize you're thinking that one day you're going to know yourself. The more you study, the more you look outside of yourself, and it seems to never come. And the cycles and the loops, and trust me, I feel what a lot of you are going through because I've been through that. And the anger and the rage just kept destroying me, because the more anger, the more rage that I got, it's like, yes, when I got out of prison, I'm just going to, my vengeance and my rage, I had plans. I'm just going to say, rated G, I had plans because I was very, very full of hate. And I didn't care about my life. And when I was sitting there full of rage and hate, I asked myself a question. How in the heck is the government destroying me without touching me? I want to ask you to ask yourself the same question. Whenever you're looking outside of you for the blame, for the judgment, whether it's your parents, I blame my parents, I blame my mom. She's on here on this video. I blame my mom. I blame my mom for many things. I blame my dad. I blame the government. I blame society. I blame my enemies. Well, enemies at the time. I love you all because thank you for who you are. I blamed religion. I blamed every single thing under the sun. I blamed. I lived with judgment. I lived with blame. And let me tell you, no matter how much blame, no matter how much judgment, it didn't make anything better. I mean, now it's totally transformed because energy doesn't die. It's just recreated into a different form of energy. Just like water, just like vapor turns to water, turns to ice, ice goes back to vapor, I mean, water goes back to vapor, goes back to ether. So ether, anyways, my point is this. This is what we can do with our lives. What seems so solid and seems so dense and seems so destructive and debilitating and just like overwhelming, heavy. There's a lot of you that feel heavy. There's a lot of you that feel like giving up. There's a lot of you that feel like the world is going to heck in a handbasket, right? And because we don't know ourselves, we've turned the greatest gift, the greatest treasures, the greatest technology. I mean, now because everybody identifies with technology, so we talk at the time that people can comprehend, right? So let's talk about the greatest technology. But that technology, looking outside, it feels like a weapon. Because no matter how much you utilize that technology, it's never going to be good enough. And so going back to the story, is I was so full of anger and rage, and I said, how is the government killing me without touching me? Remember, I wanted to get out, and I had plans. So I was like, I'm not even going to get out. I'm going to die in here. So the reason why I share this story, because in that moment, in that precise moment, without even a second, this awareness, this realization came through. And it's like, you need to study the problem. If the government can't touch me, I am touching me. Well, me touching me. And I am was convicting me. It was using all that pain, all that suffering. And a lot of you are being used for a greater purpose, but you're judging the place where you're at. Let me tell you, with all honesty, my spiritual business, if you that's what you want to call it, did not succeed in the eyes of the world because financially it's not what I would like it. Right now I'm cleaning toilets. Right now I'm what do you call it? Weed eating yards, not weed eating, trimming yards and cleaning up after people. And I love it because it's humbled me. And it's really reminded me that my heaven is where I am. That my treasures, my gifts, my love, my life is where I am. It is not wait till I get to be successful. I am successful now, and I want to share with you. This is why I wanted to share this video today. Because I was meditating and I was like, why do I keep waiting to share? I'm in the happiest place that I've ever been in my entire life. I want to share that possibility with you. So when you see Michael meditating, when you see Michael sharing about, oh my gosh, life is so great, life is so great. Yeah, when I would share it, it was like, life is so great because like I'm more happier than I've ever been, but it was like I was still full of anger and all that. And now where I am today, it's like this embodiment of this truth. It's like I want to share with you that when I say from government conspiracy to divine conspiracy, I realize that everything served my highest good. I am with myself. Wherever I go, I am. And I'm not talking about myself, this like avatar, Michael, this person, this identity. I'm talking about the awareness, the consciousness that we all are. I am with that presence. I'm with that awareness. I'm with that wherever it goes, whether I'm cleaning a toilet. I want to make this as graphic as possible because I want to give you wherever you're at, it doesn't matter. I don't care if you're about to smoke that drug. I don't care if you're at your worst of the worst. Right now, you have an opportunity to make a choice. See, I made that choice when I made the choice to study the government. And that choice brought me to the choice where I realized, do I continue to destroy myself, making excuses? Or do I wake up from the victim mentality that I was thinking was empowering? Because when we blame, when we judge, it's a self-protective mechanism. It makes us feel powerful. We want to see other people. And I'm not saying we do this on purpose. This is very unconscious. There's nothing wrong with us. We didn't come with a manual knowing how to be a human. There's nothing wrong with you. You didn't come with instructions on how to awaken the greatest technology that you are. Your parents didn't come with that. So then your parents don't have no fault either. I'm actually grateful for my parents. Even my dad that wasn't there because, he chose his own path and, he transcended when I was 15. And, I had to work with a lot of guilt because I felt so good when he transcended because I wanted to kill him. So And then my mother, it was like, and I love you, Mom. You know I love you. My mom always wanting to help me, but coming from the place of, you know, the Lord rebuke you, like you're bad. And I was like no matter what, I'm not good enough. And I'm telling you, if I can do it, and my mom served her place perfect, because if she would have parented me the way that I needed to be parented, I wouldn't have found my parent inside of me. And now I get to parent myself. You see how a gift that is? Because one day my mom's not going to be here. One day I'm not going to be here. So this is why I love doing what I do, because I desire to ripple the effect of sharing this gift so that others can be self-guided, self-led, self-directed. Because that's what Jesus did. That's what Buddha did. That's what Krishna did. That's what Muhammad did. That's what all the greats did. If you really study them, they gifted their disciples, their students, their mirrors, because we're all mirrors. That's why they said, no matter who, you do for me. But they gifted them because they wanted them to be independent, just like a parent wants you to be independent. At the bottom of their core, they want you to be dependent. It's just what love language are they coming from? Because usually it's trauma language. So there's nothing wrong with your parents. There's nothing wrong with you. And even blaming the spouse. Even blaming your children. We live with this belief that the more, like, if I can just judge or blame enough, one day my life is going to change unconsciously. Not that we do it purposefully. So, thank you so much, everyone. I wanted to share the opportunity to share with you that physically, I'm not where Michael would want to be. But vibrationally, spiritually, I'm where I never could have dreamed existed. And I'm grounding as I speak to you. I'm connecting to our mother, earthly mother, breathing her beautiful deliciousness of the breath, the one breath that breathes us all. Like, at such peace in my mind, such clarity, such love, that this is all I desire for each and every single one of you. And if it's not me, reach out to someone. Reach out to someone who is activating, initiating this in their life, that's going to reflect it to you. Because you are so free, beloveds, that right now, and in every moment, that's why the gift of becoming conscious of consciousness is every moment is an opportunity of a choice. Just like I hesitated to do this video. I was like, you know what? Let me really feel what I want to say. That way I'm not all over the place or whatever. And I said, you know what? Just turn it on. Just turn it on. Because I might not sound professional. I might not know how to tell a story. My wife tells better stories than me. And even to the point where I'm telling a story, my wife was, let me say the story, Michael. I'm not great at telling stories, but I am great at attempting to tell stories. You see the difference? You can be great at attempting something that you don't think you're great at, and one day you're going to realize that you were always great at it, but you just didn't exercise it. Rondo Water Sensei, great to see you, beautiful mirror. My mom says, blessings, 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 son. I love you. Love you too, mama. I'm so grateful for who you are. Blessings beyond measure. Oh, I love you too, mama. Alejandro Chris. Hola, hermoso espejo. Our beautiful 2 mirrors just showed up from the drug rehab where we volunteered. I love you guys so much. I miss you guys so much. You know what? I'm actually going to ask my wife to create a group of all of those that were at the center that we served, and maybe open to everyone, depending on the privacy that they want. But I want to offer you guys support again, because let me tell you, I was looking at pictures the other day, and for people that are in a drug rehab center to open up to such trust, to see men hugging themselves, and to see men opening up their inner child, and every single man transformed, crying, laughing, enjoying life from a very sincere place, and women opening up to my wife, and it's just so beautiful. And this is what lights my fire. This is what fuels my soul, because I get to experience it every day of my life, no matter what season it is, no matter what bills or what financial situations are going on. And don't get me wrong, before I was like, oh my gosh, bills again, oh my gosh, the finances. But I had to go through that because I had to realize it wasn't about the money, it was about my energy. So, there's just so much here. And for those of you that know, you know that I can continue sharing, because this abundance that is beyond. I just love sharing it with every single one of you. And if you want to have a conversation, and if it looks like something that you want to experience, I could not be fair to share this without sharing the opportunity to work together. Because that's not why I did this video, but I heard it saying, you know what, offer the opportunity for someone to experience their own experience that's tailored for them. Because when my wife and I serve, it's not about us, it's about you. And remember to join us every single morning, every single AM, as I offer a very specific, simple, precise meditation that's going to remind you 4 simple steps that are going to remind you throughout the day that when you connect and you remember how connected you are, and I'll break it down really simple. You know what? I'm going to do a video on that, specifically for that, and I'm going to share it. I ran out of room on my phone, so this is why I'm going live. And I'm glad I can go live because I miss you guys. I miss going live. I'll just share the simple process. That way, you take this away with you today. When you realize how connected we are, family, that's when you're watching this video, you feel this connection. You feel you're feeling yourself. You think you're feeling me, but you're feeling yourself. Because you couldn't feel somebody outside of you if it wasn't inside of you. So we are all interconnected. So we are all interconnected as one universal family. And we're not just connected with people, we're connected with nature because we are nature. We're connected with animals, we're connected with all of life. We're connected with the sun. When I look at the sun, when I ground, when I drink this amazing water, cheers. When I connect with the heartbeat. So the first is connect with one universal family. The second is connect as one universal breath. Do you realize you're breathing the breath of your ancestors right now? And do you realize that you're breathing forward to your descendants right now? The breath is one breath. It's just so mind-blowing for us to think that, because energy is so interconnected. Like that, it affects. So you shift a thought, you shift reality like that. You just don't believe it. That's why the buffer zone. And when you go beyond belief, you become aware of this feeling that is a knowing. This is why feeling is more effective than thinking. But when you process both of them together, it's transformational. And I'm not talking about just emotional feeling. I'm talking about the awareness of feeling, like feeling beyond your emotions, feeling the energetic, vibratory being that you are. So, number 3, the pulse, the universal pulse of the heartbeat of the universe. This heartbeat beats through all of life. It beats through every seed, through every embryo that makes you, you. If you think about it, the heart is the first thing that's formed in an embryo. The first. It's not the head. It's not the feet. It's the heart. The heart is the seed of creation. And from the heart, everything sprouts like a seed. So the heartbeat, the pulse of life, is in every seed, in every cell, in every embryo, in every sun, in every universe. It's you. You are the universe. Fourth, this divine universal presence. Do you know you could be present of your toe right now? Think about your right toe. You're present of it right now. You cannot not be present. As soon as I said it, you're present of it. Think about your left thumb. You're present with it right now. Immediately. Think about the sun. You're present with it right now. Whether you think it or not, the minute that I mention the sun, you're present with it. Think about the moon. You could be present with the moon right now. And I can go on and on. Think about your cousin. I'm just going to say a name. Your cousin Rachel. Your cousin John. I know there's a lot of John. So your cousin, just think about your mom. Think about your dad. Whether they're alive physically or they're alive in your heart. Because they're always alive. There's nowhere your awareness is limited to. Do you see how amazing this practice is? And this is what we do every AM, Monday through Friday. I take you with this practice, and I join you. And that's why I'm honored to share that experience with you. And then we ground that energy, because it's important to ground that energy. And then to take action on that energy. And how do we take action? We don't just meditate online. We meditate by giving the gift of the divine to ourselves, first and foremost, in the mirror. And then we share that reflection with others. Be a little bit more kinder today. Be a little bit more loving today. If you know what it feels like to believe that, life sucks and all this stuff, you could be the seed of transformation in someone's life, that a shift in your transformation shifts the entire world. Because one person is affecting hundreds of people by their thoughts. The family they're connected with, the friends they're connected with, the employees they're connected with, the people online that they're connected with, and now we're so interconnected. Think about how many people you affect, one, every single day. That is the ability when you take your practice into the world. Trust me, I didn't for the longest time. And I was like, yeah, I would smile because, I didn't want people to see that I was hurting, and that's fine. Because like I said, you got to fake it till you make it. But be as real as you can. Even though you're angry, or you're sad, feel the anger, feel the sadness, and be like, okay, I see, deny it. Because denial what perpetuates the cycle. So feel the feelings, and it'll free and flow your energy. So then we take this divine presence outside into the world, and we show what does the divine look like to others. Because when we focus on giving it to others, we are awakening it within ourselves, not just behind the scenes, but we're taking our craft, our skill, our art form into the world. And imagine someone inspired you to make a shift in your life. Imagine being that shift for someone else. Storytelling Alchemist, great to see you, beautiful mirror. And this is why I wanted to share about the divine conspiracy, because a lot of us are going through a lot of stuff right now. And we're seeing a lot of stuff online that, wants to take our attention to avoid, the judgment, the fears, the insecurities in ourselves. Because when we see it on the screen, it unconsciously tells us, you know what? Oh man, it's more worse out there. So, you know what? I'll just do something else. When we face that unconscious pain, fears, judgments, we won't manifest it out here. And I'm telling you because I avoided it for many years, even thinking that I was doing the shadow work. I was doing convenient shadow work. And I'm telling you, when you realize the energy that you are, there's nothing that can touch energy. Energy is the root source of your being. Well, the word we use is energy, spirit, consciousness, whatever you want to call that. I'm just using the word energy for just conversation terms. But there's no word for that you are. Do you realize how amazing you are? Think about that for 1 second. I invite you to take a breath. And hear these words. There is nothing that can define what you are. There's nothing that can define what life is. There's nothing wrong with you. The mind and the brain can't go. I lost Facebook for a minute. We're already shifting the waves of consciousness right now. This is a paradigm shift. So, in final thoughts is, faking it is denying the very love that you are. Faking it is believing that fear is real. Faking it is believing that you're not worthy. You faked it to be here. You faked to be here. You chose to come here and see what outside of you looks like, or whatever we want to call that. What other than pure infinite divine consciousness looks like. One consciousness. You chose to come here. So you faked it to be here. To enjoy what it feels like to create. Because as energy, there was no limit to you. And now it feels like we have all these limits. That's why it feels overwhelming, because it's not aligned with your true self, with your true nature. So, you're already faking it. Can you surrender to your realness? Can you surrender to your I amness? Can you surrender to your divinity of the divine conspiracy, that everything that you're going through right now and everything that you've gone through is setting you up for the greatest success, to remember who you are and to remember your freedom, to remember you are love. You are the very essence of divinity itself. You are your medicine. You are your miracle that you've been praying for. You are the magic that you've been looking outside of yourself. Think about when you turn on this screen. Where's the energy? There's no cords. This is what they would call magic 100 years ago. Anyways, I'm going on another, what is it? I'm not even able to think right now. I'm going on another tangent. So, join us every day. And please share. And let's help make this viral so that we can meditate. And if you watch the replay, it doesn't matter when you join. But join with that energy that we're not investing in, if you choose to do so, because there's nobody that can force you to do. There's nobody can take your power away. That's a good way to conclude this. There's no one, and I'm telling you from living proof, the government couldn't take my power away. My parents couldn't take my power away. Society couldn't take my power away. And let me tell you, I was beat almost every day. I was locked up from the age of 12 all the way to 29. I had overdoses. I had near-death experiences. I've been through so much. And I'm telling you from personal experience, no one ever took my power away. Your power is yours. You are creating your reality, co-creating with all of us as one divine consciousness. No one can ever take your power away. Isn't that a beautiful gift? So, I invite you to tune out the noise and see how it served you, because all of that brought up the pain and the suffering that we would have ignored. So we had to take responsibility of generations of looking outside of ourselves, thinking that the king or the queen or the priest or the pastor or some organized form of belief, organized form of perspective was our hope for some future peace, love, unity. Because up until this point, it's starting to awaken. Why? Because there's a lot of us that are awakening, that we are the transformation that we've been waiting, praying, meditating, hoping, envisioning for. You are your solution. Thank you. So, if any of you need support, we're here to support you, wherever you are, however you are, reminding you that you are love as you are love itself. So, I choose to get off. I don't got to do anything, and you don't got to do anything. But I invite you to turn off the news, turn off the media, or cease subscribing to videos and content. You don't need to know what's going on with the government. Let me tell you, and I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just going to say from my own personal experience. I don't know what's going on in Washington, D.C. I don't know what's going on in my senator and my governor's offices here. I don't know what's going on in the political space. But how am I affecting the political space? By loving myself. And by loving myself, I'm injecting everyone and everything with this love. And when more of us sign up for that, imagine how many people in authority, our police, our military, are going to feel this love, and they're not going to know where it's coming from. They're going to be like, because it happened to me. They're going to feel this love, and they're not going to know where it's coming from, and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, why do I feel like not fighting anymore? Why do I feel... And I'm telling you, because my mom is living proof. Mom, I know I have your permission. My mom is living proof. My mom is one of my greatest testimonials. I wanted her to meditate and to change her life. No matter how much I screamed, no matter how much I told her, she didn't. When I let go, and I trusted, and of course, Spirit, the Divine sent me Ali, and Ali was able to work with her and all of that, and now she meditates. And now she's a student of Samadhi. Thank you for your trust, Mama. So I'm telling you, and I'm not saying this to brag, I'm saying this to share with you that there's people that wish that their parents would awaken. They wish that their parents would change their mindset. By force, even if it happens, it's going to come from fear. But when it comes from love, it's going to be the most beautiful thing that you can ever imagine. And that's the same thing with transforming the world. You're not going to transform the world by force. We've done that for thousands of years. And that's why. Because force is looking for the outside to change. Because why do we want to force? Because it's so easy to think that change comes that way. But when you flow with yourself and you let go, and that doesn't mean that you don't take action in the world, but you're taking action from an intuitive, conscious, loving place of taking action from higher consciousness. Because there's a quote that I would love to share with you. We cannot solve the problem from the same level of mind, perspective, story, belief, emotion that created it. See, when we want to change something outside of ourselves, but it's coming from it needs to change, it's only empowering the same story that created it. And actually, sometimes even worse, because it's more constricted. So, changing the world is transforming yourself, because the world already knows what to do. Just look at when 2020 hit. Nature thrived. When we got locked down for 2 months, nature thrived. That is one of the greatest mirrors, that when we get out of the way and we take aligned, conscious, divine action, just like I did to do this video, magic happens. So, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. We're here as one love, one family, one breath, one heartbeat, one divine presence. We're here. You're not alone. If you feel alone, reach out. Reach out to someone. Much love, everyone. Thank you for joining. And please, if you feel called, please share this message. And invite others that if somebody like me could do it, and one thing I've meant to mention, that my mom knows this, is I didn't want to change. Countless people try to tell me, that there was hope for me, that there was possibility, that I had so much potential. And I was like, there's my mom loving it, because she knows. I lost signal for a second. Thank you for your patience. We're shifting the paradigm here. This is the power of sharing your story. Share your story with someone. Let them know how far you've come. Share your story with yourself. Reflect how far you've come. Don't look for the next thing. Reflect how far you've come, and you'd be surprised and amazed at the doors of your consciousness that open up. And all of a sudden it's going to be like doors open up out here. But you don't need doors to open up out here. You are the gatekeeper. You are the one that opens the door. That's why a great master said, I stand at the door and knock. As powerful as that master is, it cannot open the door. Because you have the law of free will. Because you are the creator of your reality. No one can create for you. They can influence you. They can affect you. But at the end of the day, it's the choice that you make. So thank you so much, everyone. We'll see you on the next live. I am going to be doing more lives, as this inspired me, because I've been called to share my story more, because a lot of people see me meditating. A lot of people see me, sharing the love and the joy in my heart. And maybe they think that, because I've had this in the past, maybe they think that, oh man, I can't do that. Like, I'm not at that level. Let me tell you, there's only one level, and it's unity consciousness. Everything else is extra credit. It's different fragments of the one consciousness that we chose to see it from. But we're all one. We're all truly one. So thank you, Jessica Roy, for being here. Great to see you, beautiful mirror. Jessica Roy, I love seeing your journey, and there's another beautiful soul that with her example is helping so many people. And reach out to the people here that you see. We're all here to support you. Storytelling Alchemist, he has a podcast. I'm thinking you still have the podcast, right? But he's helping people. He has a beautiful testimony. I met him a while back. Nancy Flowers Calm. She's always working on her consciousness. There's so many opportunities for you. Open up. If you're afraid of speaking, open your mouth. And if not, just join communities and just start hearing people. Be inspired to open up. Because if you don't open up, it's going to seem like everything's closed. Because everything is a mirror. So, Jessica Roy says, and in that surrender, one allows their God self to bleed through. There's no need to grasp for anything. That grasping or forcing arises from fear and shuts down your natural brilliant self. Yes, so true. So true. And yeah, that was beautifully said, Jessica. Surrender is the only gift that we can give ourselves. No one else can give us surrender. No one else can let go for you. Surrender is a gift, and when you surrender, like she said so beautifully, life opens up, and you're coming from love. Because would you like to be forced to do something? Of course not. Would you love to be invited and guided to maybe make a more conscious, more loving choice? Of course you would. Give that gift to yourself and reflect that gift with others. I love you all, and we'll see you on the next live. So if you love to have a conversation, if you love to collaborate, or even be, join the Samadhi journey as for layman terms, a student, but we're really just mirrors of the one to mirror one another, as that's how this works. I mean, we call ourselves coaches, but we're really students of life. And it's just a beautiful joy of a journey to see yourself and the self enjoying this into me, seeing into one another, the beauty, the brilliance, the love, the life, the divinity that has always been there. It's just such a beautiful joy. So thank you so much, everyone. Jessica, thank you for joining. Mom, thank you for joining. I love you all. We'll see you on the next live. And as always, always, always remember who you are. Remember who you are. Remember who you truly are. I'll leave you with a moment to just hear and sit with nature if you like. Join me as we ground, as we breathe, as we be, as we surrender, like Jessica Roy has beautifully mirrored, inviting us as a divine, beautiful being she is.